Well, hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with my cup the size of my head. This is my favorite Bailey's coffee cup. No Bailey's in it today because I've been gone for a couple of days and I feel like I need to do a little catching up. So one thing I'm doing as part of the Pajama Gramma Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind is walking everybody through step-by-step how to build their webinar. And so I want to go ahead and begin recording how we're going to go through that step-by-step. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share with them a share funnel so that they don't have to begin from scratch like I did. The first time I did it, it took me a couple of months to actually put all of the pieces together and get them all linked together working properly. And so to shortcut that process, I want to make sure that we start off on the same page. And so I'll be giving everybody a share funnel where they can start from ground zero with this. And I've got the share funnel in it, but I've already started playing with the funnel. I'm going to show you a little bit today in terms of I was using it as a demo page to teach people how to get leads into their business and start attracting people to them even before they began building their webinar. So one of the first lessons we learned and the first things we did in the Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind is to create a lead magnet, a really simple funnel, a two-step funnel to begin attracting your ideal customers, your ideal clients to you. Because that's one of the most important things we do is identify who is our ideal client and who do we want to serve. I'll tell you from personal experience, there's nothing harder than serving customers that make you and your company miserable. I'm talking from not internet marketing or internet company experience, but from brick and mortar real life experience. I had a manufacturing client. I had a manufacturing company for 35 years and recently divested myself of that. But as part of that, we had one customer, and unfortunately for us, we inherited that customer when we moved into the business and bought the old business partners out of the business. We inherited a particularly challenging client, and the client customer actually represented about 70% of our gross sales. They were a very big customer. Fortunately, they were not a great customer. They didn't treat our employees very well. They didn't treat me very well as the business owner. And it just was not a great relationship from the get-go. And we ended up having to do a price increase because in the food industry, you know, raw materials and ingredients go up all the time. And we only ever did a price increase about once every year. Sometimes we'd wait 2 or 3 years to do a price increase. Whereas most people in the industry did a price increase, you know, every month or quarterly for sure, based on their increased costs. So when we did a price increase, when we finally got around to doing it, it was because it was cutting into our profitability significantly, and we needed to do the price increase and have it go into effect immediately. And this particular customer decided that they did not want to honor our price increase. They had no reason to not honor it, but they just decided they didn't feel like it. And their closest competitor, who was also a customer of ours, honored the price increase in one day. We told them on one day, and by the next morning, their entire system, which included several grocery store chains, had honored that price increase and had put it into effect. Our most difficult customer actually messed with me, and I let them get away with it, I admit now, for way, way too long. For a year, they didn't honor the price increase. And I finally got up the gumption to say, okay, then we're done. And they said, okay, then we're done. And I said, awesome. And within a couple of months, we recouped and got more different customers, and we ended up making up all those sales. But it was a really scary time because they did represent such a huge percentage of our gross revenue. And that was a huge lesson learned for us to never put all of our eggs in one basket. But it was amazing the amount of relief and stress we didn't have anymore when we didn't have to deal with them. Because not only were they a difficult client with respect to not paying, and it seems like the bigger the company, the longer they think they can take to pay. At least that was my corporate experience as well. I was a corporate quality executive for a couple and a half decades in corporate America. And somehow it fell to vice president of quality to help with collections when the big companies didn't pay, which is totally not up my alley. And it was outside of my comfort zone beyond imagining. But I ended up finding that I had to participate in that and really be involved in that part of the business. And like I said, I don't understand why the bigger the company, the bigger the organization, I think they give bonuses based on the longer they can push off and not pay out money. Now, I've never had anyone in a purchasing capacity verify that for me, but I swear it seems like there are actually sideline bonuses for people in corporate America or in insurance companies that the less they pay out, the bigger their bonus. And so I don't know how it works for real, but it sure seemed like that from where I was sitting in my corporate jobs and in my small business ownership and in my business ownership over the decades. So today I want to start actually showing and recording how I do a webinar funnel build, because I'm using this for my class. And I thought if I'm using it for the people I'm coaching, why not record it? And if other people can benefit from it, great, all the better. The more people that can learn how to do these things and shortcut the process, the better for everybody else. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll keep my lovely side braid on there today just for the fun of it. And then I'm going to go to my ClickFunnels account. And I actually found the funnel this time instead of making everybody dig through 170 or so funnels with me to look for the exact one. Now you'll notice on the front end of this, I mentioned a little bit ago that I've got a couple of different lead magnets. I'm testing a couple different lead magnets to bring people into this particular funnel. And neither of these are specifically appropriate for this webinar. They would not be, sorry, they would not, I've got barking dogs I'm babysitting. Sorry about that. And the neighbor's mowing, and when I live in the country, so whenever there's any animals, which I live in the country, so there's always animals, there's birds, and the dogs seem to just go crazy over birds. But anyway, so on the front of this webinar funnel, normally the webinar funnel and the share funnel will start with the registration page, but I just wanted to show you that you can always put pages in front of the webinar registration. For example, on a lot of my lead magnets and the things that I do for clients, I will put a survey in front of the webinar to just bring people into and start getting them on the list for a client. I also do this in a couple of my own funnels. I'll actually have a little survey or a quiz at the front just to kind of separate people out, get them engaged in the process and starting to say, yes, I'm interested in that, or no, I'm not, and then they go away. But if they're interested, it draws them into the webinar registration. So I wanted to show that we can go ahead and we can add that on the front end of the funnel. But if you look in the left-hand column, below the indoctrination and the order page and the confirmation page, I actually put the deliverable, the membership site, in the exact same funnel. So I will start building out, and I've actually been building out this particular funnel, but I will put the membership access and the membership page right in the same funnel as I've got my webinar. So I can do everything in one funnel. So I just wanted to show you that. So for example, here's the nobody cares about the access page. Here's the actual membership funnel and all the lessons that are built out for this already. And I'm not done yet. I'm a couple lessons behind, but I'm almost done creating this whole membership site. So I just want to show you that. But normally we'll start with the webinar registration page. So let's go there. And I probably have two here because I actually copied this from another webinar. I always build on existing funnels or on templates if I can. And it's funny how often you find yourself just deleting everything and starting from a blank page. I remember when I first started learning about ClickFunnels, and you can tell these are expired for my timelines because they default back to the ClickFunnels page. Let's just see what this one is. This one's on 0%. So this is probably a page that I stuck in here as a test or a filler. Yes, it is. And actually, I can't use this one, but I used a funnel that I was doing for chronic pain. So that's why I shut this one down. Let's see what this one is. I think these are both chronic pain, actually, because I used an old funnel that I had done. And yep, I used an old funnel. And that's how I start building. I start building off of a previous funnel. And so the first thing I'll do is I'll go in and I'll delete. I want to know my headline when I start out. So we will come up with a headline. I usually put attention. Who is it that I am wanting to attract? So for this one, let's say attention. I want to attract women business owners for Expert Secrets because I want to work with more women. I want to work with women who've probably been in business for a year, about a year, usually at the 1 year mark. We start to say, okay, I'm doing great and we're moving the trajectory I want to move in with my business, or we're running into roadblocks, or we're by roadblocks can be anything, but usually the roadblock is I, as the owner, as the woman business owner, am doing way, way too much. And I'm working in my business, doing a lot of activities that should be done by other people. Or even worse, I'm doing absolutely freaking everything in my business and it's killing me because I don't have time to even take care of myself. And I have a lot of personal experience with that particular dilemma. So the first thing I'll usually do is I change this attention. And again, the look, the feel, the layout of this is going to be different based on who you're marketing to, who your target audience is, who your ideal client or your ideal customer avatar is. This particular product and the one I'm demonstrating is for women business owners who are an expert or have specialized knowledge in any area of life that they want to create a business around, because I'm bringing them into Pajama Gramma Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind. And that's a coaching program that I'm selling with this webinar. So we're creating the webinar for this demo purpose for this particular product, so that we kind of have a feel for what the product is. So then you'll change these same elements. You can walk through and change these same elements, but I need to have a concrete example to demonstrate to you so that you know and can relate. How do I do that with my own funnel? How do I do that with mine? My business is so different. What I'm doing is selling pet care products, bundles to pet store owners, or whatever it is, whatever it is for you. But I'm trying to get a concrete example so you can see how you would change and alter these things and the key elements you need to change in your particular funnel to make it work for you. So we're on the registration page. So I'm going to just show you some of the key elements that I change. So usually I have my headline written out ahead of time and I would change that here. So let's just come up with a headline for Pajama Gramma Expert Secrets Coaching Masterclass. So what do we want to do? What is their number one problem? So we want to, what's the result they want? How to blank the result they want without blank, the thing they want to avoid the most. And I'm going to say that we've got an overworked, stressed out business owner. So we don't want her to work herself to death. There's a reason that I use death in a lot of my headlines, and it wouldn't apply to anyone else, but I've actually had a death experience because I almost worked myself to death. And that's why this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm passionate about it. I see I've got a mosquito on my screen. That's lovely. I just got back from camping, and or not camping, but I was up at the cabin, and I am covered with mosquito bites. I went for a walk this morning before the dragonflies were out and the mosquitoes were rampant. And as soon as I got back, like within 10 minutes, there was a bear, a big black bear on the path that I was walking on. And he followed like my trail. It was pretty entertaining. My sister's got a real kick out of that. They're not walkers. I see why. So let's think of a headline for this experts training coaching masterclass. What do they want the most? Let's just say, I'm going to say how to supersize your business because I've got another product like that. And I want to just be pretty quick about this. And it's super short and simple. About how to supersize your business without working yourself to death. That's pretty easy, quick and easy. So then I'm going to have my countdown timer, which is already set here. I'll show you how we set that. And then register for my seat now is pretty boring. It's pretty standard language. But if you can think of a more exciting thing to put there, I would highly recommend it. This button is set to there we go. And I need my magnifying glass for this stuff. So my set action is, I think, open the pop-up. I don't want to open the pop-up. I want it to I guess I do want it to open the pop-up. Let me see what's on the pop-up. I didn't think this one was set to open the pop-up. Let's just take a peek. Why, yes, it is the pop-up. So now I'm going to duplicate this headline here because I want them to know that they're in the right place. This is literally how I do this for myself and for clients. This is as simply as I do this. Make it easier. And again, if this isn't your headline, I like to create my headlines, my secret, and my key components on, sorry about that, doing a webinar so we don't answer the phone. Without working yourself to death. Normally I will keep these on another document, and I'm not going to go that long today, so I will go ahead and create the document I'm talking about for part 2. But I usually have them on a Word document or a notepad document so that I can copy and paste some of these key pieces of copy into this without having to start from scratch every single time. And what you find, you won't know it on the first one, the first webinar that you do and the first webinar funnel that you do. But if you do several of them, like I do them for clients, you start to see the main things that you need every single time. And if you create them ahead of time on a Word document, then you've got them at your fingertips as you want to do it. And it's a lot faster and easier to build these funnels. And this is just if they want SMS messages or text messages to remind them of the webinar, which I would say anytime you can get people's text information, you want to go ahead and get that. You will see me save a lot. I save constantly when I'm building or when I'm doing anything because I've had some bad experiences with losing a lot of work and I don't want to. I'm going to go ahead and hide this sharing screen because I know I'm sharing my screen. Okay, and we're going to remove that what says this optional text, but we're going to remove this where it says optional. I didn't realize it was still in there. Optional but highly recommended. That we really don't need. We'll keep this text in there then as is. The select your country code, to give people instructions. I'm just trying to make sure that this is everything we need. So then all they have to do is check the checkbox if they want to get text messages and then enter their phone number. I actually forgot this was in here. How funny is that? Probably shouldn't admit that. And again, the register your spot button, if that language works for you, which it usually does. But again, I say it's pretty boring. If you can think of something fun and creative for that, go ahead and use that instead. Let's save this. And let's change this background picture because I hate it. So you just go to settings, background, and we're going to click on the little photo icon, and then we're going to go and find a different picture. And what are we doing? We're doing expert secrets. She looks like a businesswoman, doesn't she? Let's just see what that looks like. This is exactly how I pick pictures. Design is not my thing. I thought I picked it. Let's try that again. Background. I might need my magnifying glass out. ClickFunnels, my love. What's going on? All right, let's just pick another random background. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure why that is not taking. I want something that builds intrigue and interest and curiosity, but doesn't totally give away what the whole thing is about. All right, we need to ask ourselves if this is a section background and not an overall background. Sometimes it's just a section. I like magnifying glasses since I can't see, but that doesn't make for a great background. And then we can, obviously I don't have that as a full page background. It's just as that section background, which probably isn't going to work for what we want to do. And then to find out what it looks like, I just play with the different layouts and see what the different layouts look like. Well, that doesn't really work, right? Even if we click off that, no, pretty boring. So let's go back, work on that some more. I miss repeat. Yeah, I don't think that's going to look great. Again, this probably isn't a great picture. I usually go full width center. That's usually what I play with. Let's see what that looks like just for the fun of it. It's really nothing special. I don't like that this is just for the section. I know that this was designed that way. The original share funnel that I received from Stephen Larson. Thank you very much, Stephen Larson. That's the way this was. Each of these different sections had their own background. I'm not loving that. I think we might change that on this right now so that when I share the share funnel with you, it's not like that. So let's go ahead. Let's go in here and let's take that background picture out. And let's just put, I don't want to do that though, do I? Let's check backgrounds. Let's just pick a really plain background. That's not what I want either. I really want no background. I can't see subtle patterns at all. That's the really bad thing. Most people can. I cannot. Let's just pick a very subtle white background for right now. But that's really not what I want to do either. That's not the effect I want. That's not the effect I want at all for this. We should be able to pick no background. Cancel. All right, well, this, you can play with this for hours. This honestly is the thing that takes me the most time when I go to doing things like this. Background colors. I don't understand why I can't pick no image. All right, well, let's just go with this for right now because it's plain, it's ordinary, and we can add a picture later on. But again, I actually want to go into settings and background, and I want the background of the entire page to be the same. That's how I personally prefer to pick my background. So it isn't each section has its own background. And I understand why Stephen does it that way because he's smarter than me and he's done a lot more design type work than I have. But to me, it's easier to have a background that is the same. And I'm going to go with that clipboard one I had. I kind of like this one, but it's the engineer in me that's really boring. So let's go with the magnifying glass. Now see, since we've got the background for this section selected, it doesn't really show anything. But if we could get rid of that, which I don't think that we can, you can see that it's in the back there, but it's not really doing anything because each of these sections already has a different background selected over this. I don't know what's on that one because we might have to go in and change that about the whole thing because I don't like that each section's got a different background. Sorry about that, guys. Should have put my phone in the other room. I didn't, but I should have. What I really need is a light background. Let's pick this. Let's pick this. It might be too dark. I have no idea what that even says, but we'll just leave that there for the fun of it right now. Let's go back. See, each of these are different sections, so it makes for a really weird looking funnel. which I don't like at all. What does that say? Plan, build, continuous something. Continuous improvement, probably. I like stuff like that, plan, do, check, act, but that's not what I want there at all. See why this takes a long time sometimes? Because you have to find different graphics and things that you really like. So actually I don't think really any of the graphics and things I've already selected would be great for what I'm trying to do. You know what, I'll show you something cool. With Pixabay, you can go to search, Pixabay, and let's type in something. How about expert? Let's see what it comes up with for expert. Nothing. Oh, that's sad. How about, wow, no experts. That's crazy. Oh, women business owner. I don't think we'll get anything for that either. If I'm too specific on Pixabay. Oh, I got a couple. She looks like a baker. Let me see what that one is. Lady in an apron that says open. Well, that looks like a woman business owner. I don't think the lady catering looks like an expert. Let's go. Let's just see what we get if we type in women. Dogs, phones ringing. That's my life. That's what happens when you work from home. You get dogs and phones ringing and all kinds of craziness. But that makes it fun, right? I cannot really, this is what I get help with graphics because it's really kind of tough for me to see. Now, she kind of looks like an expert. She looks like a legal expert or something. Let's pull her up and see what she looks like. Oh, now I got a whole ton. Oh, now it goes to women. That's going to be really... We'll go women in business. Otherwise, we're going to have way too many. So let's just find a graphic. I'm going to pop the dog a little. Beanie. Oh, that's craziness. Okay. How about... Oh, I like this one with all the different women. It's kind of cool. Let's see what that looks like. I can't remember where I'm adding a graphic now. That's kind of cool looking. Being quiet. I don't know why you're in here barking up a storm. That's just kind of silliness. Oh, it's got guys in it too. We don't want men in it. We just want women. We're not prejudiced, but we're prejudiced. We just want women in our graphics. So we'll change that one. But you get the idea. That's how you just go about changing your graphics. You just pick different background graphics and change them. We're going to change this logo. So we're going to actually, I'm going to just delete that for right now. So remember, you click delete and then you have to say okay to verify it. We're going to change our footer text to the right company name and then we're going to link it to our right terms and conditions. Whoops, I guess you got to start at the beginning. A long one now. All right, and then I don't actually use a logo with this one, so we're not going to use a logo for right now. I also think that my testing has shown that the logo on the registration page on the top does nothing for my testing, and that's why I put it on the bottom. If you have a really strong brand and a really strong logo, you're going to have to test whether it should go on the top or the bottom. For my purposes and for my testing and for the clients that I've worked with so far, actually, I've had a couple that have a strong brand presence. And so we'll put a very small logo on the top of the page just for identification purposes and for consistency across the funnel. But otherwise, we do not use it. Again, this is goofy looking because of the background. And we're going to have to change that because it's driving me crazy. But I'm going to go into this funnel before I pass it on as a share funnel. And I'm going to make all of the backgrounds the same because this is ridiculous with the different backgrounds in each section. It looks chaotic and they don't line up. So even if I were to use the same graphic throughout all the areas, they're not going to match unless I use like a gradient type gray or boring background or something. But I don't really like the look and feel of that. I want something that's going to you know, invoke more curiosity than that. Like even this, the girl hailing the cab, that's more fun than what I just picked. Actually, we might make that our top graphic. And the one that I've got right now, that almost has to be just a plain background because it's too busy for what we've got going on. So maybe I could pick that same goofy background, but I don't like that very much either. You can go to different websites and get free backgrounds that are excellent and then give you all kinds of different looks and feels, depending on the color or the look or the feel or what you want to portray and what kind of message you want to send with your funnel. I think we used this one, so I'm just going to use that one again. No, I guess the wrong one. That doesn't look the same at all, does it? This is why I'm changing that. But it's good enough for right now because it was too busy the other way. I didn't like it at all. But I do want to see what this background would look like. I actually kind of like that. I don't know if that's where I want it to be right now, but I actually kind of like it because it invokes a little bit of curiosity. We really don't know what's going on with her. I would actually like this box to be more in the center. That's just me. And I'd like the picture to be the left. So let's see if we can't move the picture by changing some of these settings. Let's try. Nope, too small for no repeat. We're not going to like 100% width. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I'm one of those people that just does what I can do with the design. And if I like it, great. If it doesn't do what I want it to do, I pick a different picture because that's just easier for me. All right, well, I like her, so we're going to leave her for right now. Down here, I'm going to put a picture and the name of whoever is teaching the web class. And then I'm going to change out this graphic probably and just somehow convey that it's really limited seating and that you want to get on this call. If there's more than one person speaking on the webinar, for example, I'm doing a webinar with a young man tomorrow. So he and I will both be spotlighted. So I'll have me probably on one side or the other. I don't remember where I put us. I don't remember if I had him on the left or me on the right. It doesn't matter. But if there's more than one person actually presenting on the web class, webinar, then I will put each of us in this section. Down below, I'm going to just simply enter the 3 secrets. Secret 1, secret 2, secret 3. This is why I have them pre-scripted and pre-written out. So I can just copy and paste them. And I'm going to use these same 3 secrets and the headline in different places throughout the webinar and throughout the webinar build. And so I want to have them in a place that I can just copy and paste them and not having to be typing them up from scratch every time. Then I'm going to change these 3 graphics and I'm going to match them to the secret. And again, I'm not going to give away the answer to the secret. I'm just going to do something with the pictures and the graphics to invoke curiosity. So for example, these were how to sever, chronic pain's death grip on your life in as little as 7 minutes a day. What does that reaching hand mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you got pain, right? So it doesn't really tell you. It just tells you, okay, you can get pain relief in less than 7 minutes a day without breaking a sweat. But how do I get that? I don't know. The only way I'm going to find out what that is if I get on the webinar. So all of these secrets are written, all the pictures, everything are designed with the sole purpose of getting people to register for the webinar. And then as we use these graphics and headlines again throughout the webinar funnel, our sole purpose is to get them to actually attend the webinar live. So we're not trying to sell them anything. We're not trying to do anything big and grandiose. We're just trying to sell each step, each page of the funnel is just designed to get people to do one thing. And the purpose of this page is to get people to push that button to sign up for the webinar. So again, I would go in and I will go in and we'll change these secrets and we'll change these backgrounds. And again, it's simple. Attention, who you're speaking to, mompreneurs, attention, dart throwers, I don't know, attention, whatever your target audience is. And then your headline, how to blank without blank, or my weird secret, or one of a gazillion headlines you can write that is attention grabbing. It tells people the main benefit they want. So with respect to this, how to supersize your business, that's the main woman business owner wants to build her business, grow her business, supersize her business without working herself to death. She doesn't want to work all the time and be the only one working all the time in and on her business. She wants to be working on, not in her business. The other component that I usually put on this is I offer, this is some kind of a bribe that I'm going to give them. And I shouldn't call it a bribe, but it's a shameless bribe and plug. It's a bonus I'm going to give them only if they attend the webinar live. Now, you don't have to. You can give it to everybody if you want, but I'm going to say you lose credibility and you lose people coming to your webinar live if you just give it to everybody. So I like to actually have something different and something special that only people that show up on the webinar get. And then I take that away. And if you get the replay, if you come after, whatever, you might get a different bonus, but you're not getting this one. The only people that are getting this bonus are the people that actually show up on the webinar live. So I don't have a bonus picked out for this yet, but I'm going to somehow put in my crazy, awesome, how to show up bonus. And that's what I'm going to put here to make sure that people show up. You know, you get it just for showing up, but you got to show up to get it. I don't want them to think that. And the whole purpose of that, the whole purpose of offering the bonus and the whole purpose of this page with the countdown timer and everything is to get people to push that red button and register their seat, get their spot on the webinar. And again, we really want to push the limited seating. And so I'm going to do something a little more creative with this. I think this is really boring. And so I want to find a way to really make that stand out on this page. And then we'll do the secrets. In part 2, we'll do the secrets and we'll change this artwork. And that will be it because I need to return a phone call. And I probably talked long enough for part 1 of this particular funnel build. Because I don't want to go 10 hours, right? I want to just start showing you one step at a time how you actually build this funnel. And now that I've started it, I will actually plan out a little more and I'll have my worksheets ready to go ahead and build it. Hope you're all having an awesome day. Thank you for joining me. Pop back on here with my crazy hair so you can all see I've got crazy hair still. Sorry about the dog. Sorry about the phone call. But next time I'd like to say we're not going to have any interruptions like that, but that's kind of not my life. My life is sort of chaotic, like many of our lives, and we just work our way through them and we just roll with it. That's what we do. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.